Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gary Basco. I'm the Senior Account Executive with Descartes Sellercloud. I'd like to welcome you all to our Unlock the Buy Box Strategies for Winning on Walmart. I'm here with my fantastic co-host. I'll let him do an introduction, but thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, and Gary, thank you so much for having Walmart Marketplace here in partnership with Descartes Sellercloud. Love what we're building together regarding the seller community and a lot of the functionality and the capability that we're doing to help sellers win. Really excited to discuss the how to win the buy box as the primary emphasis for this afternoon. I'd be remiss. I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you for investing your time here today to learn a little bit about Walmart, whether you're an already existing seller that is integrated using Descartes and Sellercloud, or maybe you're trying to learn a little bit more about Walmart and or Sellercloud yourself. Hopefully there's some nuggets of wisdom that we can take away over the next hour to hopefully make you a better seller on Walmart, or maybe help you with some strategies that you want to bring into Walmart should you help and want to get started with us. Without further ado, we'll dive into the agenda here. Quick roadmap, kind of the things that we plan on touching on between Gary and myself over the next kind of 45 minutes. There will be time for Q&A at the very end. One of the things that prospective sellers and or sellers it's always good to be reminded of is why Walmart Marketplace. Here on the screen is what we have for what we're doing, the momentum that we're building. As you see here, this is through Q2 from the last stats that we have 13 consecutive quarters of double-digit e-commerce growth. This actually is now 14 through the most recent earnings statement that was released. We're also seeing 20%, not just double digits, but significant double digits in e-commerce revenue as well. Lastly, the sheer size and scale is phenomenal between our 1P and our 3P present for our sellers. Gary, want to just kind of like push you on the spot here. From your perspective in working with the sellers that you guys are bringing to Walmart, what are some of the reasons that you're hearing as why Walmart, what the impact has been for their business?
I mean, Walmart is one of obviously the fastest growing marketplaces right now. So to diversify your portfolio, to be able to expand on different marketplaces, you're going to want to get on Walmart. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're selling on any other channels, if you're a private label company as well, Walmart is not just a fantastic marketplace to sell on, but they have an amazing team to work with as well to make sure that you're successful along the way.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate that. And it's we're operating on the platform, but also hearing it from our partner perspective and the feedback they're getting from their sellers. It really does talk about the partnership that we are building between all of us collectively to support our sellers. This slide is a fun slide when we start looking at overall scale and comparison to search engines, social media, and some of our competitors. And obviously, Walmart is a massive brand, and we are continuing to accelerate, especially on the .com side and the 3P side, from a marketplace perspective, which is what we're all here for in this e-commerce space. I find it fascinating that Walmart.com is actually larger than the physical retail component of Target and Best Buy, and we are kind of neck and neck with our primary competitor in the 3P space, known as Amazon. So really just to show the traction that we've had, we are the fastest growing platform in the US, and this is a platform where growth is very achievable for our sellers coming on and our brands that are interested in expanding their footprint and potentially diversifying their offerings where they're currently being sold. I really love this slide because as smart consumers, and we're all those people who were cross-shopping and looking to get the best offer and the right opportunity, this slide is powerful because it goes to show that Walmart has a loyal customer base. And based off of some of our competitors here, our customers are staying within the Walmart.com site experience and not cross-shopping elsewhere. This is why coming on to Walmart and optimizing your business is because customers are now using Walmart not just as a brick and mortar retailer, but they're now using us as a search engine, as a query to now go and find those products that you're looking to bring to us, while also helping to shift consumer perception and behavior as we're seeing people that are typically generating more revenue and earning more they're now starting to utilize Walmart as opposed to maybe some of the other channels. So there is this shift in pattern and behavior in adopting Walmart. So this is why this is very important for us to get your items on site, because they are staying here on site with us and not cross shopping as much as they were historically. You can see the numbers here percentage wise and just population wise, knowing that the Walmart consumer, the previous slide showed 270 million between brick and mortar and .com. There's about 350 million people, within the U.S. So we got about 70% of the customers, and 90% of all customers live within a 10-mile radius of a physical brick and mortar retail store. So Walmart is everywhere, and this is where we want you to be with us in this journey. Talked about partnership a moment ago, and I'm going to actually read this. I know everybody can read, but this is a really powerful statement that Descartes, Sellercloud, and Walmart are building collaboratively to be able to support you, the seller. The world's largest retail media optimization platform meets an e-commerce platform built for seller success. There's so much to unpack in there. Gary, I don't know if there's something in this statement that excites you most. Would love to at least get your thoughts if there's something from the Descartes Sellercloud side that stands out to you.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're working with marketplaces like Walmart, where they're helping to get you a brand new audience and expand where you can sell and truly helping to legitimize your brands as well, you're going to need the backup to make sure that you're meeting your end of the bargain. And that's properly having products in stock, making sure that you're offering the right price and it's getting to the customers at the right time.
Absolutely. And the last two words in this statement to me stands out: seller success. That's what we're all here for. Sellercloud cannot be successful without you, the seller. Walmart cannot be successful without you, the seller. So the seller-centric mentality to benefit the Walmart customer along their journey and helping you grow your business, generate more GMV and revenue is really what we're all here for collectively. This is really important. And this is where, within my role within business development over the last 4 years, this has been an important component of the collaborative and consultative nature that Walmart excels at, I think, versus our competitors. At least this is the feedback that I have received, is the white glove onboarding. And what that does for your interest in coming onto Walmart is that you are introduced to a business development manager like myself or somebody within my team in the seller acquisition organization, working with Gary to make sure we help prioritize and have visibility into your specific account, helping to troubleshoot, navigate, answer some of those early onboarding questions that you may be familiar or unfamiliar with, because this is a new marketplace. Walmart has a way of doing things differently than maybe some of our competitors. So we want to do everything we possibly can to partner with you with this high touch, high level of service to help you get live on site faster, to help you start generating sales faster, and ultimately help you bring that assortment, help you optimize your account, and hopefully help you find that success that we know that you're looking to have when expanding on here. Gary, anything else here that I'm missing from the Sellercloud perspective?
I mean, I just know it's not just Walmart that's there to help and give you that support. Sellercloud also is offering a ton of additional support. So for new sellers that are looking to get their hands wet in the Walmart marketplace and they need something to help with managing those connections, the inventory, the orders, the tracking updates, that's all something that we also provide the back end resource to make sure that you're as successful as possible on Walmart. And we're there to work with the Walmart team, as you can see with my fantastic co-host right now. So where do we help to support things? Well, we help to identify and obviously reduce the friction for onboarding. That's where I come into play. We have a fantastic account executive team. We have sales engineers as well to help build that architecture that you're going to really need to be successful. We're here to help you escalate cases through Walmart. As you can see, we have a very good relationship with the Walmart team, whether that's their marketing team, that's their sales team, that's the onboarding and the support team as well, to make sure that your needs are being heard where they need to be. Request additional clarification from your internal teams. Again, whether you're coming to Sellercloud, whether you're going to Walmart, whether you have that contact at Walmart and they need to reach out to us, or you have the contact in Sellercloud and we can make that introduction to Walmart. We're there to help you with the internal teams. And then share recommendations. So what are all the fun new features that are coming to Walmart. I can name a ton off the top of my head that I'm super excited about. We work with, resellers right now, the renewal program. We work with a lot of customers selling collectibles. So there is a brevity of ways that you can expand and really benefit off of the new features that are coming to Walmart. And half the battle is knowing, and we're there to help you know.
Absolutely. And really excited as we get a little bit deeper in here to talk about some of that functionality and some of the other things that are forthcoming that we're right at the finish line, Gary. So looking forward to that. How the buy box works. I love this topic. And the buy box to me is the best example of game theory imaginable. Now, when we start thinking about how to compete, depending on brand owners, resellers, those come with inherent different strategies for what it is that you're looking to execute. The buy box is really contingent upon the second and third bullet points here of price competitiveness and shipping speed. Gary kind of talked about that at the very top. The right item priced the right way, getting it to the customer in the fastest way possible, and that really is what this is. But we're going to start here with the listing quality score. I think of the listing quality score as the foundation of your home. Yeah, if you need something, you need quick shelter, sure, build up, build fast, take care of it. And then you're going to have to come back and fix a lot of things if the foundation is not firm and secure. Same way a marathon runner, if you're going to just go out and run 26 miles, bless you, good luck. Let me know how it works out for you. Good luck in your recovery. But typically, we're going to want to ramp up, or we're going to do all of these things from an e-commerce perspective and the way Walmart looks at this to become retail ready. What does that mean? Retail readiness is really building that foundation, utilizing these 5 areas that are within the site experience of Walmart to help you refine, optimize your account. So that way, when you are ready to start selling, you are ready to start spending those ad dollars, they're going to reach the audience and the consumer searching for your products. Without the strong foundation, you may be spending bad money after bad money, and we don't want that in any way, shape, or form. So listing quality scores comprise of ratings and reviews, published price competitiveness, published in stock, content quality, and shipping speed. We're going to go ahead and jump into each of these here in detail. On the top right here, you'll see kind of the scoring system. This is the composite example of a seller score of a seller's entire listings within Walmart.com. And then it's broken out across each of these 5 areas. And we're going to give you directional feedback, which is a really wonderful thing. And this has been an enhancement over my last 4 years here to be able to better support the seller community to help you get better and refine what your strategy is, not only at the aggregate and the composite level, but down to the item level. Pricing, the most important thing when it comes to being able to win the buy box. You want to be the seller of record on a listing, especially in a very competitive listing. If you're not the seller of record, how many of us, Gary, I'm actually going to put you on the spot here. When's the last time you went in and clicked on compare all sellers to see like other offers that are not winning the buy box?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I'll look just to see, just in case, because really it's shipping speed too. I might pay an extra dollar or two, and this is where shipping speed can also be important. I'll pay an extra dollar if I know I can get it in a day. I like to lift, so you got to have your protein at the right time. But yeah, most times at the end of the day, to find the right listing for me, I'm even going and specifically sorting by price.
So the pricing component here is super important because we're not necessarily saying that we want you in the red. We don't want you to lose your margins, but there's ways to play within here to become a little bit more competitive. What you see here on the lower right-hand corner is sellers get an average increase of 20% when they become more price competitive. Walmart's really protective over our customers. We don't set thresholds and we don't demand pricing in any way, shape, or form. That is under your full control. The most important thing, though, is that we're being competitive and we're trying to give the consumer the best valuable possible to also give you the highest likelihood of transacting, which is shown to increase 40% GMV lift and a 30% increase in the buy box rate. Ultimately, buy box conversion is really like what this is all about for you, the seller, is being the seller of record more often than you're not. We have some tools that are available to you as a seller on Walmart, which is a repricer. So you can set your floor and your ceilings to ensure that you're staying within the margin thresholds that you need to down to the item level, which is super important. So it's not just a one size fits all. You have margins that you need to maintain health. We want to make sure we're aligned and supporting you down to the item level, very similar to the OLQ that we were looking at, also at the item level. So we want to get as granular as we possibly can be to support you, the seller. If somebody undercuts you and they want to be a loss leader and therefore they want to hurt their margins, hey, cool, you don't have to play in that swimming pool. But the moment that that person is gone, the pool is all yours. So that's really what some of these tools are meant to provide for you, the seller, within the Walmart side experience. Shipping speed. Hey, I don't mind paying another buck or two if it's going to get it to me faster. So here's really where this matters. 3 days or less. We're all consumers. We've all been conditioned to want it typically within 48 hours. And that makes a difference. We see this now with Walmart, especially within the 1P side of like brick and mortar and being able to get it delivered potentially same day from one of the many thousands of Walmart retail locations. Some of the things that we're working on potentially may start leveraging some marketplace opportunities into the future, which would be an amazing unlock for you, the seller who is joining Walmart.com. So something to kind of at least a little nugget, a little morsel of goodness to kind of be aware of. But because we do want things on time, this is super important to where there's tools, capabilities that are provided from Walmart Fulfillment Services. We also have something that I'll be touching on here in a moment called simplified shipping settings, kind of for expedited delivery, and then also 3PLs. WFS costs on average 15% less than most of our competitors. So we're seeing a reduction in costs. We're also seeing an increase in GMV by 50%. Lift because there's consumer confidence that Walmart has your inventory and it's not Mikey LLC who is super unreliable when it comes to getting things dropped off. And more importantly, we act as an extension logistically and operationally, whether you're an SMB or an enterprise brand, we act as an extension of your organization because we are now handling the customer service, we are handling the returns, and we're taking care of all of that. So we're also providing time back into your day, which is invaluable because time is money. And we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to help you generate more money in the site experience while also giving you more time back in your day. Shipping score. This also has something to do with performance. The shipping score and performance, there's a correlation here. And we want to make sure that we are hitting our delivery, our on-time delivery, and making sure that tracking is valid for all of our sellers that are selling to customers and transacting. The simplified shipping settings I touched on just a moment ago. If you decide to remain seller fulfilled, I understand that many of you have very robust operations and shipping locations around the U.S. Absolutely can do that. Walmart has rolled out simplified shipping settings to offer fast and free shipping to the customer using USPS and UPS to be able to get them from your back door to the consumer's front door in a timely manner. The other part about that is that it's also integrated. So with the carrier that you decide to use, there's integration capability. So if there's any issues with deliveries, we help own that on your behalf, and we would de-score any performance impact to your scores should there be any issues there. So simplified shipping settings, highly recommend. And then shipping templates, if you're not able to offer fast and free shipping, helping get the customer the right expectation depending on where in the world that you are located to make sure that we are delivering on time using your carrier method and your carrier map to help associate those items, whether it's big and bulky, medium, mail, or anything in between, to make sure we're getting there at the right time. Marketplace sellers who utilize simplified shipping settings see an approximate 10% boost in GMV. So even seller fulfilled, there's a way to win by adopting some of these tools within the site experience for Walmart. Ratings and reviews. Direct consumer, like if you have your D2C site, we want to collect those reviews. We want to syndicate those onto Walmart.com. That way it gives credibility, it gives the customer, even if it was purchased from your D2C site, it gives the Walmart customer an idea of what that product is that you are looking to bring to us. So we want to build that trust. Trust is an important thing, which we'll be talking on here in just a moment in a latter slide. But whether it's a post-purchase reviews where customers are organically submitting on your behalf, review syndication, which is us taking your reviews from a D2C site and bringing them onto Walmart. We are not able to bring reviews from one of our competitors, unfortunately. So that would be kind of one of the blockers that I do at least want to call out. But if you do have D2C reviews, let's talk. Let's bring those on board. There's one other program called, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. I'll come back to you on that, but there's a way for us to more or less submit items into a review program. And then for the Walmart team, or like a subset of review people to be able to review accelerator. That's what it was. Sorry. But for us to be able to actually give you some reviews on your behalf to help gain visibility from an organic search and rank perspective to increase your OLQ. Content quality. It all begins and ends with this being framed correctly on the product display page. We need the items to make sure that the keywords are correct, that the images are clear and concise, because we need to make sure that ultimately the product is represented accurately, that it has the right integrity behind it. Functionality is understood from the consumer. That way the customer has a good shopping experience within Walmart.com. It prevents you from potentially higher levels of returns. So content quality is really, really, really important from an optimization standpoint, because this is one of those issues where I've seen with sellers, well, we set this up and I'm getting a higher level of returns, and then we actually start going line item by line item, and maybe some things got overlooked, or things do happen over time. So content quality is a really, really big one from a curation standpoint, that I really want to make sure that as you're thinking about OLQ, that we're spending some time looking at all of the keywords and directionally looking at the feedback that the Walmart system is providing. Sellers using our latest item setup and management tool for item spec 5 will see an average increase of 15% in content quality scores. So one of the very first slides that we talked about for OLQ, or listing quality, was 80% having a 1.5 increase. This right here goes to show that the impact and the correlation between content quality and the impact it can have on your overall listing quality score. So definitely an area of emphasis foundationally that I want to make sure that everybody is understanding before we actually start trying to spend dollars where maybe we're not getting the same return from an ad spend perspective. Published and in stock. This is important because the inactive listings and items that are published that are out of stock will be deprioritized. And we don't want that deprioritization to bring down kind of your assortment score. So we understand that the nature of selling can be very, very fluid depending on what category and what you're into. At that point in time, we would ask you and would want you and encourage you to retire those items, especially if we know that those items are never going to be back in stock. So that really is like what we would want to encourage and recommend, just to make sure that your best sellers are fully optimized. Maintaining inventory accuracy. Once again, if you're never getting it back, there's no need to keep it as a published SKU within your assortment. Help you really focus on where those issues are from an unpublished standpoint, or some things that we need to action within your assortment. This is everything I just kind of threw at you. This is a nice cheat sheet of those metrics and the wonderful colors that were in the top left-hand corner of each slide, of things that we want to try to achieve to help from an account optimization standpoint, and tools and the tips and the tricks that you can utilize, implement, execute within your book of business with Walmart as a seller to really hopefully help you find the most amount of success as possible. Assortment growth. This was yet again another enhancement, another unlock over the last kind of 12 months approximately, of really trying to help give directional insight into a seller's assortment and maybe what some of those opportunities are, and how can I help win more at Walmart with some of the feedback that the system is going to give us. This is really important. Here on the left-hand side, these are going to be 3 sections within the site experience of Walmart Seller Center. Assortment recommendations, explore, and demand reporting. Assortment recommendations are going to be those items that we have identified as a customer favorite or in demand. We use those terms kind of interchangeably, but this is going to be items that are very similar in category that you may have access to with a distributor or wholesaler, or maybe there's items that You've started to sell with us that you haven't brought on the full assortment yet. So assortment recommendations is a really powerful tool. Assortment Explorer. Maybe you as the brand or the seller are looking at other items that you're not really sure yet if you want to fully invest in Walmart, but maybe directionally we can kind of nudge you, wink, wink, and kind of push you in that direction to help you expand that category assortment from outside of one and into the other. And once again, to use the pool analogy, maybe it's a different pool that we're going to go swim in, and you want to actually see what the water feels like before you go diving in head first. Don't blame me one bit for that, especially this time of the year, but we want to make sure there's no shock factor involved. So this is a good way for us to help you win with Walmart as you try to expand your assortment and bring more items that our customers are looking for. Lastly, the in-demand reporting. Hey, what else is out there? What can I bring that nobody else has within the site experience? How can I bring something that the Walmart customer is going to gain traction on? So I become, by default, I win the buy box because nobody else is there. I get to create the listing so I can control the content, which is amazing. Like the in-demand reporting, that right there is the biggest gold nugget possible if you're trying to find little small competitive niches and the way to win within Walmart. So the assortment expansion that we have provided in those insights is really, really powerful for you, the seller, and it ultimately impacts the GMV that you can generate with the Walmart consumer. Talking about the assortment, a moment ago, I mentioned the word trust, and that was more regards to ratings and reviews. But the most important thing is kind of the headline here: building a marketplace customers can trust. That we want to make sure that the Walmart customer is having the best site experience, the sellers themselves are having the best selling experience, and making sure that there's rigor involved around everything that we do to have the best marketplace possible for sellers and customers alike. So we are checking, at the category level, we're checking against sellers just to make sure that everything is authentic, genuine, legit between the nature of a seller's business, hence why we have the performance and things that we do to protect the Walmart customer, along with checking compliance and making sure that the products themselves are authentic. So you're not selling against somebody who is maybe trying to do something unsavory. We are monitoring this with AI and people in butts and seats to make sure we're taking care of the customer and you, the seller. Brand protection for trust and safety. We want to ensure that the brands themselves are supported and have support for counterfeit or any of those other IP related issues within that experience, because brands, nobody cares about your brand more than we do, and we want to support you with the utmost opportunity to represent that within site. And being customer centric, so first returns and seller education and utilizing the 4,500 retail locations that we do have as also return centers for our 3P marketplace items to be able to get back to you, the customer, if your seller fulfilled, or right back into your WFS inventory. Hopefully, as we've gone through discussing the listing quality and all of those kind of inputs, hopefully you can see ratings and reviews, pricing competitiveness, shipping speed, all of those do start building kind of the sides of the house and the roof on the house, utilizing the listing quality as the foundation. We can't build up, we can't generate GMV and revenue without that listing quality and all of those various values being optimized in order to give you the best selling experience possible to be able to then transact and generate the GMV based off of the smart way of going to market and ultimately executing the retail readiness playbook that everybody has access to, which is what we literally just covered. So that is really where I think kind of Sellercloud gets to really lean in partnership with us. Sam, I see you jumping on.
Hey, I'm Gary's colleague, Sam. I work here on the partnership side of the house, but I'd love to share a little bit more about Sellercloud and what we're doing here to support our Walmart team. So Sellercloud is going to be one of the most robust integrations with Walmart Marketplace. And as Mikey said, that's the foundation setting up your business for scale. Where there's a lot of connectors in this space. This is the automator. This is the smart logic that creates the efficiencies in your business to grow at a more mature capacity. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. Mikey? And you can see this is many of the APIs we support: WFS, Item Spec 5.0. We connect to a Walmart Pricer, and you can control it in your Sellercloud application. We support assortment growth. Streamlined onboarding is now available to our joint customers just as of yesterday. And then you can expect MCS and simplified shipping solutions in the coming weeks. So this is a lot of access to the Walmart tools at your fingertips. What this really means, though, broken apart, is marketplace features where you can control your entire Walmart catalog from one centralized system. That means one repository of images. That means handling your OLQ score to make sure it never slips below a threshold that's affecting your category rank. Maybe you're getting updated images. Maybe you want to push updated pricing. And then maybe you're finding you can test different image strategies across different SKUs. We're also using this as a centralized inventory management system. So you are able to pull down that inventory data from all of your marketplaces into one place, so you're not going out of stock on Walmart. That's extremely important to making sure you're published in stock. You're also managing where those orders are running to and from. You can hop over to the next slide where we'll talk about the WFS integrations. This is really cool where you have that direct connection to your WFS shipments, and then you're choosing how it gets to your customers. You're printing shipping labels inside of our application. So what I'm saying in large is hand in hand, Walmart and Sellercloud are aligned in advancing the product so that you're winning on the Walmart marketplace. But I want to fast forward into a Q&A for everyone. I know there's a lot of questions that have come up. We've gotten really feature specific, really score specific about how you can win. Oh, this is a good one. This is how you can win. We'll invite the questions, but while we're having people drop their questions in the chat, Mikey, can you share the new seller savings?
The opportunity right now to join Walmart has never been better. And working with Sellercloud, utilizing streamlined onboarding, that enhancement, that unlock is so unbelievable and timely given the nature of this webinar right now. So congratulations, Sam, Tom, as well, on helping to bring this to life for all sellers. New seller savings right now is eligible to all sellers coming onto the platform who are not currently already live on site. The opportunity is up to $75,000 in savings based off of commission fees, off of fulfillment discounts. You get SEM credits, and there's also an ad credit within the Walmart.com site experience. So utilizing all of the, the things that we've discussed earlier, and now being able to come on board, the most important thing is Walmart doesn't make money if you don't sell. So the barrier to entry and the barrier to sell is literally zero. And we want to make sure that we help you execute so that way you can achieve as much of these savings and discounts as possible. This is something that Sam and team have access to. If there are questions coming out of it about, remind me again, but the gigantic number is $75K in savings, and I don't know anybody else who would actually want to turn that down. So please bring those questions and want to learn more. And ultimately, if you're coming out Walmart, you have a tremendous partnership here between us and Sellercloud to help action that. Without further ado, welcome back, Gary. Just some time for Q&A. So we'll go ahead and turn it on over.
Perfect. So I did get one question that came in about what is the general onboarding time for a new seller to Walmart? And let's frame that in interest to first SKU live. Can you guys take that from the perspective of this seller is using that streamlined onboarding flow that they can see in their post-webinar communication?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So for us, we want to run as fast as you want to run. So, kind of using that marathon analogy, everybody needs kind of a race setter, and we defer back to you as the brand, as the seller, if you want to move. Now, one of the things that I touched on just a few moments ago about trust and safety and some of our vetting is, one, we need to understand the nature of your business and some of the checks and balances that we've kind of built in for verification, getting payments set up. So there are some inherent kind of workflows that are intentional within going live on Walmart, but that is where myself and working with the account executives at Sellercloud, we can work in partnership with you to ultimately help you move forward faster and help you troubleshoot and navigate any of those related issues that we might run into in that workflow. But ultimately, if we can have visibility, we can action faster on your behalf to get you live faster. I don't have a necessarily a timeline to be able to promise, but the one thing, Sam, is that between us and you guys, we got your back.
Definitely. And I love when sellers take advantage of pushing their catalog directly from Sellercloud. That's just taking out all those manual workflows. And they're also meeting the compliance and regulations that Walmart has in place to make sure their listings are complete.
Yeah, we're fully integrated with Walmart's 5.0 spec sheet. And for our customers that are resellers, we work with Walmart's Setup by Match. We can help you attach to those existing listings that already have the brand compliance on there to start selling in the buy box.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to port the catalog over in one fell swoop, here's the best part. You have the technology, you have the integration to be able to make this happen more or less at the flip of a switch. And the beautiful aspect is you may bring something that, kind of going back to the assortment, like the in-demand, maybe you're bringing something that's not already listed on Walmart. Like, that's an amazing proposition to be the first to market with an item that there's 120 million unique shoppers on Walmart.com, 270 million shoppers utilizing brick and mortar and .com in a single month. That's power, and that is opportunity to actualize and execute with.
I also we've seen a lot of sellers who get trepid about just launching their entire catalog. And there's a strategy where many of our sellers will take in-demand reporting to understand maybe those key players of their catalog where they'll see early success. They can build out their operational systems with the help of our teams and then scale the rest of their catalog out. So leveraging your Walmart teammates to tell you which SKUs you should be listing first is top strategy. All right, guys, I have another one that came in. It says, does MCS work across borders for my Walmart Canada orders?
It's a great question. So full transparency, we are working to understand that specific detail. My understanding is yes, that MCS, we will be able to ship from a US fulfillment center into Canada to be able to fulfill an order from a customer up there. If we receive any additional communication, I will make sure that I work with my colleague Tom and the rest of the Descartes Sellercloud team to clarify that. But we've been led to understand that we can actually do that. Yes. What does support look like? If you have any challenges with Seller Center, is there a way to contact an actual person, phone number, internal team, support link? As you can imagine, probably similar to based off of the quality of this question, you might be an avid e-commerce seller and understand the way some of these things work. Everything is done through a ticketing process from a seller advocacy standpoint to make sure that we are kind of beginning the process for action internally. Here's where I think Walmart is different. If you come on board and you are assigned a business development manager, we will then be able to work and action those tickets in unison and in partnership with you, along with, Gary and team, if there's anything, on that side that we need to make sure that there's visibility to. So escalate those tickets, bring us visibility with your business development manager on the Walmart side, and we can then hopefully have better visibility, clarity, visibility, and escalate. I think I said visibility twice. I'm going to say escalate, just to make sure we're able to action and get you a resolution faster, as opposed to maybe kind of feeling like you're lost in the queue.
Nice, thank you. Next question.
All right, so
Very
this is
awesome.
any tips for using Descartes inventory data to avoid WFS long-term storage fees or other fees? Sellercloud specifically has a WFS restocking report tied to the SKUs and the way that you're sending that inventory directly into Walmart, which is very nice. especially too when you're working with and you want to be sending in, different multi-packs and everything. We go based on the listing that you're shipping into Walmart so you can better understand what you need. If you buy, this is a big thing for a lot of our customers. I might buy individual units, but I multi-pack, I put them together, 3 packs, 5 packs, and so on. It gives you that data as well, where I'm looking at what is the demand on the products I'm actually selling tied to the listing. And a unique thing about Sellercloud, because we not only help you with the inventory, but we also help with the listing side of things, connecting sales and operations together. But yeah, our restocking report will definitely help you with knowing how much you should be sending in, making sure there is enough and there's not too much to help avoid additional storage fees.
All right. And then we also have one come in through the chat. It says, where is the reporting accessible to see my OLQ score?
Fantastic question. So that is if you were within Walmart Seller Center, it would be within the left-hand side of the navigation. It would be under performance, and there's a drop down, and then it would say listing qualities, like the 3rd or 4th bullet point underneath that. And that would be where you could then go in and see your composite score, which we had the screen example. Underneath that, you would then see all of the items that are within your assortment. It will then give you the item level listing quality score. On the far right-hand side, you will then see details. If you have questions about why it's being scored in the manner it is, if you click on that details portion, it will then take you into the item-specific listing quality screen, and it will then give you a breakdown and tips, tricks, and recommendations of how to optimize. The algorithm itself, we have millions upon millions of items online. It's trying to give directional information. Some of it may not necessarily be applicable. So then just drop in an NA in there, just so that way the field itself is satisfied, which will then help with that kind of small curation of listing quality, but merely directional and recommended, not required. So up to you, and you have full control on that at the item level, at the attribute level as well.
Beautiful. Okay, another in chat question. So I'm already a Walmart seller, but I own multiple brands. Can I get a second Walmart account, or how do I enable selling for the additional brands?
Yep, absolutely. What I would actually want to understand is, for that brand, is it a separate EIN, or is that brand fall under a parent account from an EIN? Either way, we can absolutely support that. And I would actually just want to learn more from this brand owner and what they're trying to accomplish. But yes, we can absolutely do that.
Mikey, from my experience, when you're in these unique, complex circumstances, it's better to be working with your partner managers, both on the Sellercloud and Walmart side, where we can put you on the fastest path to resolution possible, where of course there's going to be ways to send in tickets, make these tips or requests yourself, but to have an advocate on your side who might know the ins and outs of the approval process, we can typically speed up things.
Yeah, absolutely. And just once again, visibility is key at all times in the process here. And knowing some of the internal things that we have to do to be able to support, especially if it's a new brand under a parent EIN or a parent company, there's processes within Walmart that I want to make sure we're communicating to the Sellercloud account executives, just to make sure we're aligned and helping manage expectations for them as our partner and for you as a brand.
Beautiful. All right. Can we also reprice our catalog using Sellercloud, since Walmart Seller Center already does have a repricer? Gary, this is a great one for you to jump into how the repricer connection works with Sellercloud and price syncing.
Absolutely. So when it comes to repricing, we have 2 different approaches. So the first approach, nice and simple, we integrate with Walmart's repricer. So the fantastic technology that they've developed for you guys as sellers, you can go ahead and put that information in the place that you are already managing all of your other listings. That is the big benefit about using Sellercloud, is we're directly integrated with Walmart's repricers. Put your highs, put your lows, and we will send that information for Walmart to accurately reprice your products. On top of that, Sellercloud does offer what is called price building, which is a benefit for a lot of the companies that we work with that are, say, private label companies. We can look at your costs, and from there we can build a price for that channel where you can add on a fixed price dollar amount to help take into account your cost of shipping if you offer free shipping, as well as increase that cost by a percentage base to take into account the fees or different costs that from the cost of just doing business on that marketplace, to make sure that you're meeting the margins that you want on the products based on not just what other sellers are selling. If you're a private label and you're not fighting over the buy box, you want to be selling where you're making within specific margins. And on top of that, Sellercloud also works with a number of partners, just like we partner with Walmart, a number of other repricing tools as well that you would be able to integrate.
Wow. It's a lot of different ways, but it goes to show that price is so core to your selling strategy, and there's a lot of different levers to move forward. Let's go ahead and jump to the next question. We're keeping good time here, folks. I am a Walmart seller. We used it about a decade ago, but had issues and retired our listings. Is there a way to reset our accounts? So we're starting over from ground zero with Sellercloud, so we can also use old SKUs. So I think I'm getting two different questions here. There's option A, use historical references, historical SKUs, or option B, start from ground zero. Are both possible, gentlemen, or is only one the path forward?
I mean, delist, relist. That might be simplest way. If you already have the content in Sellercloud. Now the difference though, and this is something we went over about the spec sheet 4 versus spec sheet 5, and making sure that you have your quality score, your content quality score as best as you can. So it might not always be the most advantageous. So starting from ground zero actually might be a good way to do it. Delisting any products if it is an active account, and then relisting them now with the new 5.0 spec sheet, the new requirements and the new updated attribute field, so that you have a also better listing quality score at the same time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things here as well, given maybe when the account first started, Gary, I would love to learn more about this seller specifically and their unique circumstance, and if we need to look at starting a fresh application, utilizing streamlined onboarding with that unlock that you guys are bringing to the seller community, there may be an opportunity for us here to really truly help kind of like take that Etch-a-Sketch and shake it up and start fresh all over again and create a new masterpiece. So would love to actually learn more specifically with you and the seller.
Nice. I think this might be an interesting time. I actually used to sell in Walmart 6 years ago, and personally, I know a lot has changed. Can we give some highlights to our audience on big things that have changed maybe in the last 2 to 3 years? I think it's great to refresh. We deem Walmart the fastest growing marketplace, but what does that mean? What's changed? Why maybe come back if they've sold and they want to reinvigorate it, but they're unsure about if they're going to see a similar situation they did before?
Absolutely, Sam. From my perspective, having been here 4 years, they've gone by in a flash. First and foremost, the investment in human capital and just the putting butts in seats to support our sellers, first and foremost, I think is a key differentiator within the marketplace space, to be able to have a one-to-one consultative approach to ensure that every seller is hopefully getting a warm introduction, is getting the direction and some of those strategies. The buy box information that we just shared is something that our team is tasked with educating on, helping sellers win and execute against. So first and foremost, I would say the human capital nature within Walmart. Secondly, the seller journey within Seller Center and the user interface has changed dramatically. At least specifically within selling within Walmart, along with our API expansion and our partners, just like Sellercloud and what they've invested in from an expansion aspect of being able to unlock so many more components, attributes, to be able to have a hub and spoke strategy of working with Walmart to benefit you, the seller, to be more efficient with your time, regardless if you're selling exclusively with Walmart or on multiple other sites. Really knowing that our partners have leaned in very over the last 3-4 years to really give this a better selling experience. Lastly is the site experience and a lot of the promotions and things that we want to get you in front of to help you drive those deals, those promotions. And ultimately, we want to make this a very comprehensive, robust, wonderful selling experience, because ultimately the Walmart customer, as we saw on one of those slides earlier, we don't want them leaving our site experience. We don't want you, the seller, leaving the seller experience within Walmart. We want more of your inventory. We want more of those in demand or customer favorite items. We want you to be aggressive with pricing to help you win while also getting the Walmart customer the best valuable possible. So that really is kind of just seeing how we've evolved as a marketplace has been really, really a wonderful journey to be a part of in my 4 years. I don't know if I answered that specifically for you, Sam, but that's at least kind of the passion that I feel about being fortunate to be able to represent this organization.
This one's a quick one. Do all new sellers applying to Walmart get assigned to a BD representative?
If you're coming in through the streamlined onboarding, that will be visible to me and my team. I manage a team of business development managers myself. So working with the AEs at Sellercloud, we will try to prioritize you as a seller if you're interested in coming on board. There are certain things that we need to understand about the nature of your business, but I would say 95 to 99% of the time, yes, you'll be engaged with somebody specifically within our teams.
Very exciting and helpful. What are the most common mistakes sellers make that unintentionally hurt their buy box performance?
I mean, unintentionally not making all of the inventory available. I mean, this is the big reason actually why a lot of customers come to us to specifically. They're selling on multiple channels. They don't have an internal system to synchronize everything. You have to make sure that you are updating and showing that inventory is available. That's a big part of that score, is making sure it's listed, it's active, but it's also in stock as well. And so when you're not using an internal system that can synchronize that, most of our customers are allocating inventory. I have 500 pieces, but each channel gets 100. I'm selling out one place, so I sell out all the inventory on Walmart because that's where I'm seeing a good sale, and I'm seeing my audience is targeting that specific product. I have inventory to sell, but it's not visible because I've already allocated other places. Making sure that inventory is synchronized across all of those channels, utilizing a tool so that inventory that is available is made available, and it's happening in real time as well as you're procuring and getting in new inventory. That's all something that's probably the biggest one is showing and being out of stock, and unfortunately manual operations, a lot of times you miss those opportunities or those gaps.
Yeah, and just to echo that statement, Gary, the manual component is joining a new marketplace. There's learnings that come across, kind of in that journey. And if you're a savvy e-com seller already, and you had probably some growing pains and learnings along the way early, no matter what marketplace your D2C site experience has been. And it's not a set it and forget it. It does take time. It does take energy, effort, and a focus. So that for me is, well, I have so many other, channels that I'm selling in. I have other priorities. Well, deprioritizing a growth opportunity is really like a disconnect that I see often. And it also goes back to the inventory and what it is that you're trying to bring. So, really digging in, optimizing your shipping, making sure that you have a repricer tool or you're checking your pricing daily. If you want to be more manual about it, no problem there. But the set it and forget it mentality is, I'm on Walmart now. Why am I not getting success? That is the biggest misnomer that we typically come across.
Right. And I think going back to making sure you have the data to, instead of set it and forget it, but to make decisions, that level of visibility to data is the most important. And then if you ever get to a point where you're like, I see a problem and I don't know how to fix it, leveraging your team surrounding you. There's a lot of folks here at Sellercloud and Walmart that want you to sell better. So advocating for your business and saying, this is a niche problem I have. We can pull in partners. We can pull in each other. We can even lean on consultants, but we want to make sure that your business is growing.
I think the last thing I would say here is be intentional when expanding into Walmart. And if you're intentional, then we can absolutely help you win, because once again, going back to visibility, if you're focused on it, we can focus on it with you in partnership.
I really appreciate you both coming and bringing your wise wisdom, many years of e-commerce knowledge. And thank you everyone for joining, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.